Okay, here comes Jimmy with some of the soil that he just got just right off his land, and he's going to show us kind of his secret sauce for putting soil together for these hemp plants. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, what we do is we've got really good soil. It's just a little heavy. It's actually sandy loam, but when you're growing these hemp plants, you still want to lighten it up. These hemp plants, they really like good soil. And people say, oh, they're just a weed. When they're in a building, they're not. They're a house plant. And you really want to take every precaution you can to make sure that they're in really, really good soil. My soil is heavy in mineral. It's alkali, Rocky Mountains. But so what we do is we mix peat moss in with let me grab this peat moss with some of our just native soil, and it really does. The peat moss helps lighten it up quite a bit. You can see, and that really doesn't have any nutritional value in it, but it sure helps the roots grow and keep the soil from getting compacted. When they're in pots or in a building, you need that. You can see how fluffy that is, as opposed to that shovel full of dense dirt that I brought in. So we put some of that peat moss in there, and then we've got, this is vermiculite, and you could do a ration. You could figure out your complete measurements and all that. I basically just make the soil light, make sure there's good nutrition in it.
Now, let me ask you a couple things about this stuff. This is perlite you just put in, and
perlite and vermiculite.
What's? Can you tell us a little bit about what those are and what they do?
These are sold at any garden place, and they allow for water absorption. It's a little bit of air, loosens up the soil, keeps the compaction down, and allows the roots to grow in a very healthy manner.
Okay.
Not a lot of nutrition in it, pretty much none. So that's where you want to have some manure from the earth and from the earthworms.
Oh yeah, what's this stuff called?
This is worm castings.
Ah, worm castings.
Yeah,
that's right.
Worm poo-poo. And I'll also go out to where the cows have been, and the alpacas and goats, and we've got a place that's got some well-rotted old manure, and we'll mix a little bit of that in here too. We try to keep a lot of that stuff just outside in the outside holes, just because it's got weeds in it, and when you're doing inside grow, you really want some sterile stuff, just to keep any kind of mold or bugs and anything else at bay.
Okay.
But, we do some of this.
Very good. Thank you very much for the tour on the soil. Thanks a lot.
Yep, my pleasure.